bad in here. It's all air conditioned. Absolutely.
I know everyone goes on about American portion sizes. That is one large fries.
Okay, well.
But I've been living in the Midwest for more than a decade, and I realized we're just wrong.
If you just stay at home and turn on the TV, you would believe that America is a place unworthy of living. But behind the sensational headlines and violence that the European press paints daily, the reality is leaving international tourists in awe. This reverse culture shock is so significant that they realize that real-life America bears no resemblance to what the media has woven. The abundance, the small conveniences taken for granted in America are what Europeans yearn for. Today, we will unveil the dark side of media bias. Their explosive reactions in the remote states of America will say it all. Don't change the channel, the truth starts right now.
Walking up for our very first glance look at the stadium right behind us, but let's see the view from our seat, which funny enough, we're actually in row A, so we're nice little front row. Wow.
Guys, I'm gonna do a stadium live tour in Dallas. I'm really excited. I can see a locker room and I can stand pitch. See you later.
This is probably the first surprise for European tourists visiting the US for the first time during this World Cup. Many people were worried that the US would not have a quality stadium to host the biggest sports festival on the planet. They believe that the US will have to struggle and frantically search for competition venues or spend billions of dollars to build them at lightning speed. But what is the truth?
Venues for us. It's like, folks, this is a country that hosts 70,000 people plus for a college football game on a random Thursday.
Qatar has to build a series of new stadiums. Russia also has to build new ones. And the United States, they just need to look around and say, can these billion-dollar cathedrals be used? And it turns out they are not only usable, but also outstanding. Even an English fan had to exclaim that watching football in America feels like sitting in a huge, enclosed cinema.
I attended a football game in a giant cinema. That is how it felt anyway. I feel like I'm in a cinema, but it's a football stadium. It's cold. We made our way into the stadium, and despite 35-degree heat in the day, it was a cold stadium. It was air-conditioned. There was a full-on roof, and we caught up with some fans.
I bet many Americans watching this video will surely smile with pride, because these cathedrals are a normal part of your lives, right? But for Europeans, it's a completely different planet. Not stopping here, the vast universe of America seeps into even the smallest details of life. Look at this.
Costco is bigger than my village, where I live. Whatever you want at Costco, it's there. You just show up and you could buy your whole life there.
Free samples?
Yeah, man.
I'm coming here every day. This place is huge. This is an entire grilled chicken.
Yeah, and?
It's only $5.
Yeah.
This entire room's a fridge.
Yeah.
It's bigger than my apartment. I have never seen this much meat in my life.
Looking at this guy's expression, it's really hard not to laugh. Is it really the first time he's seeing these things? Actually, it's not too hard to understand. Europeans, who are used to quaint, old-fashioned little grocery stores, are completely thrown off by a supermarket that only sells containers like the Container Store. Even the ordinary boulevards and lanes in states like Texas or Alabama are wider than the famous Champs-Élysées in Paris. Let me give you a wow statistic. The total area of Texas alone is larger than the entire countries of France and Germany combined. So, the fact that Americans design everything on a grand scale is not to show off, but simply because they have so much space to do it. This abundance is a privilege that sometimes the long-time local residents inadvertently take for granted. If you find these analyses interesting, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel right away. Your support is the motivation for me to create more quality content like this. And of course, that massive scale sometimes brings humorous nightmares for tourists.
Tell me you're in America without telling me you are in America. I've just been handed my drink. This is crazy.
This is one pancake?
Yeah, welcome to America. You know, I used to be little like you.
I ask a medium size. That's medium. Ma che medium? Madonna! My entire family can drink from here for 1 month.
Not just the size, but also the quantity. Europeans are used to walking to the corner store to buy a single can of soda to drink throughout the day. But when they go into Target or Walmart, they are extremely frustrated to realize that they are forced to buy a pack of 6 or 12 cans with no option for single purchases. Then at lunchtime, seeing the bewildered face of a tourist holding a 189-liter tub of ice cream or staring blankly at a 20-ounce prime rib, that's more than half a kilogram of meat for one person, it was both amusing, practical. Lunch suddenly turned into a true survival challenge. What is the greater meaning behind these reactions? That is a shift in perception. European TV and media often proclaim that the oversized American lifestyle is a manifestation of wastefulness. But when they arrive here, experiencing the convenience of cheap food blocks, wide boulevards, and top-class stadiums, tourists come to understand that this is a symbol of a prosperous economy and peak performance. They realize they are not watching a fictional movie, but living in it. What about you? Which large-scale shock in the US impressed you the most? Leave a comment below so we can discuss it together. And now, the explosive friendliness and the threatening smiles of Americans are the next things to bewilder European tourists. Let's move on to the next segment right after this. Remember not to take your eyes off. The most interesting thing on social media right now is watching the reactions of people who are visiting the US for the first time. I am not a soccer fan myself, and I didn't even know that the United States had a national soccer team, let alone that the World Cup was being held in so many locations. But I got caught up in watching the reactions of the tourists. It makes me want to enlighten those who constantly complain, "Oh my God, America is terrible, it's so scary, I have to move away." Look at the people who are here for the first time. They are experiencing our daily life like this.
I'm going to see what he thinks about an American staple in the city of Atlanta.
Viva España.
Think of America and food, what comes to mind for you?
Guys, I'm at Buc-ee's, okay, a Russian heated Buc-ee's. I never seen anything like that. Ever.
Buc-ee's has slushies.
It's my favorite. Buc-ee's has slushies, coffee, sandwiches, bikinis.
Everything you want.
Everything you want.
Waffle House, Buc-ee's rest stops, gas stations, or family diners along the roadside in Alabama. They are enjoying things that we are fortunate to experience every day. Many Europeans even admit that they have been deceived by the media their entire lives.
Europeans only hate America because they've never actually been there. For years, you couldn't scroll through social media without seeing a European telling you how bad America is.
Many Europeans used to see a stranger's smile as a potential threat. In the Czech Republic, if you are too kind, people will suspect you are up to something or trying to curry favor for votes. We call that attitude of life realism. But now I realize that keeping a face of anger for a lifetime is truly exhausting. But that's not all. The essence of this optimism is also clearly reflected in the way American society faces upheavals and failures, a mindset that people call the failure mindset.
I'm at the checkout line and these two women behind me talking about business they've just lost.
If this story happened in a cafe in Paris or Prague, the chain reaction would be whispers like, "See? I told you so." They consider it a heavy tragedy, and the people involved might never dare to stand up and try again. But what about those two American women?
But here, one of them, she just shrugs it off and didn't work, I appreciate a lesson, I'll come up with something else.
What a spectacular psychological turnaround. Dear American audience, it is your resilience and forward-thinking mindset that make the world tip its hat in admiration. Americans do not see failure as a personal identity. They see it as a milestone on the journey to success. If you also agree that this positive mindset is the key to a nation's strength, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. Your small actions help spread these humane perspectives to more people. And then we come to another shock that Europeans experienced during their days in America, which is the tipping culture.
It's day 6 of my 3-month trip in America, and I know this is a constant talking point in America in general in terms of the culture difference between the UK and America is obviously the tipping culture.
British people, you are not prepared for tipping culture in America. So you go to pay, then they just turn this screen round to you, and they're just watching you, and they're staring into your soul like it's a test. It says 25%, 20%, 30%. Where is the option for I smiled politely? But honestly, what happens if I click no tip? America, do alarms go off? Please let me know.
Initially, most Europeans are extremely allergic to this culture because they believe that service fees should be included directly in the bill. But when they experience it in reality, they feel guilty if they don't tip. Why is that? Because the waitstaff in the US approach and care for them so warmly and delicately that the tourists feel as if they have been close friends from a past life. That extraordinary kindness makes leaving a tip a voluntary and joyful act of gratitude. And speaking of service cuisine, we cannot overlook a legend called ranch dressing. An Italian friend had to publicly apologize to his compatriots on social media after discovering that dipping pizza in American ranch dressing brings an explosive, delicious flavor unlike anything he had ever tried before. Even Kraft is launching convenient airport ranch sauce packets after World Cup fans became so enthusiastic about this sauce that the TSA, Transportation Security Administration, had to issue a warning. This limited edition travel kit includes enough ranch dressing packets to replace an entire bottle. There is a customer who is about to collect all kinds. After all, one can see America through simple things like a smile, a greeting, or a bowl of dipping sauce, proving to visitors that they are a society rich in compassion and connection. TV says Americans are cold and selfish, but in reality, it's a warm hug.
Folks, let me admit, I've never seen Europeans this happy visiting the United States. Right now, they're happy, jumping up and down, going out, greeting people. And you know why? Because they're experiencing this culture shock they have never seen in the European society. I don't know what you folks are saying, but based on what I've experienced so far, Europeans are loving every aspect.
A World Cup seems to be completely changing the way Europeans perceive America and Americans. No longer fear and hesitation, but instead openness and joy. So, in your opinion, between openness and communication and a mindset facing failure, which one is more worth learning? Please leave your opinion in the comments section below. And now, it's not just the people, but the stunning displays of supreme power and the miraculous Freddy effect that will leave Europeans in awe. Let's move on to the next segment right now. Now, let's explore a heavyweight weapon of American pop culture, which is American showmanship, the pinnacle of entertainment showmanship. There is a truth that Americans do not simply organize a sports match, they turn it into a grand music festival, a magnificent display of art full of pride. European tourists who come here to watch the World Cup are completely overwhelmed by this large-scale entertainment mindset. In Europe or the United Kingdom, no matter how big a football match is, it is confined to the pitch with traditional chants. But in the United States, they seamlessly and emotionally weave national pride into every moment. Watching this, American viewers are surely feeling the proud beats pulsating in their hearts, because that heroic spirit is what shapes your unique identity in the world. To demonstrate this pinnacle of generosity and hospitality, let us listen to an iconic true story, something the online community calls the Freddy effect. Freddy is an ordinary German tourist visiting the United States. He doesn't ask for anything. He's not a famous influencer. He simply records his journey and gives the most sincere compliments to the country and the American people on social media. And guess how American society reacted? They responded with an unbelievable level of unconditional generosity. When he learned that Freddy was in Houston, former NFL football superstar J.J. Watt proactively texted him and covered the entire cost of a VIP hotel suite for him. Next, the state of Louisiana organized a personal welcome, and artists gave him free concert tickets. The highlight was what? NASA even invited Freddy to the control center to connect and chat directly with the astronauts on the International Space Station, ISS. This sweet twist of fate left all of Europe astonished. Americans are like that. They don't care who you are. As long as you respect and love their country, they are ready to open their arms and offer you the most wonderful experiences without asking for anything in return. If Freddie's story makes you love the warmth of the people even more, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so we can spread this wonderful energy together. Delving deeper into the heart of America, European tourists also discover the true essence at small family-run restaurants, also known as mom-and-pop shops in remote towns. Here, they encounter a completely contrasting image compared to their homeland. In Europe, businesses are bound by countless strict administrative procedures, and the spaces are often minimalist and monotonous according to government standards. But in America, each eatery is a miniature museum of family and country. They proudly hang large American flags, cover the walls with memorabilia, football helmets, and carve the faith-filled motto, "In God We Trust," into the tables. The freedom to express personal identity and patriotism is precisely why America has always maintained its position as the world's leading prosperous nation. They work hard, believe in great spiritual values, and turn their businesses into places that spread love for their homeland. Tourists realize that American patriotism is not found in TV speeches. It is vividly present at the dining table in a small town in Texas. What do you think about the way Americans welcomed Freddie? Is that the open-minded spirit you always take pride in? Please leave a comment below. And now, a heated debate between the demands of the locals and the gratitude of the tourists is about to take place. Let's move on to the next segment right now. Now, we will talk about a bitterly ironic paradox in behavioral psychology: the stark contrast between the demands of the locals and the gratitude of international tourists. Let's see what some Native Americans are complaining about on social media after they return from traveling abroad. A young man who just spent a month in Thailand and Spain posted a complaint saying, "America has no sense of community. Taxes are high. Everyone works themselves to exhaustion. I will leave this place as soon as I get the chance." Or another person shared, "I work in Spain only 16 hours a week, earning 1,000 euros, which is enough to live on and rent a nice apartment. America is no longer what it used to be." They paint a bleak picture and demand to leave their homeland. But there is an objective truth. The number of people trying every possible way to immigrate to the US is always higher than in any other country in the world. So, why is there this contradiction? That's because when you are born and raised in an overly prosperous economy, it's very easy to take all the privileges around you for granted and then start exaggerating minor inconveniences. To see the stark contrast, look at the grateful reactions of European tourists when they come to America. An English girl was completely amazed when she spent a whole day off at a national park in the US. "You Americans are so lucky!" Here, the space is vast. The mountains are right next to the beautiful coastline, and the craziest thing is that you can park for free. In England, if you go to places like this, the parking fees will cost you an extremely expensive amount. Not to mention, the weather is always terrible. Not to mention, another tourist from England almost cried when he found a gas station selling crushed ice, because in Europe, ice is a luxury due to the high energy operating costs. Even the refreshing central air conditioning systems that are ubiquitous in the US are something you would have to be very wealthy to afford in the UK or Canada. Then there's the story about the refrigerator. Europeans are astonished by American supermarkets overflowing with all kinds of fresh produce in any season of the year. In their home countries, refrigerators are usually very small, only the size of mini fridges in American dorms, because they don't have many options for out-of-season food and are required to go to the market multiple times a week. The small conveniences that Americans use daily are seen as a bountiful paradise in the eyes of foreigners. If you find this contrast too accurate, give the video a like and subscribe to the channel so we can spark a lively discussion in the comments. And to conclude in the most convincing way, let's look at some top-tier economic data analyzed by experts. If you take a citizen from Nordic countries known for their welfare and high quality of life, such as Denmark or Sweden, and then relocate them to the US to live and work, their standard of living, income, and financial opportunities immediately double right after. Why is that? Because America possesses a world-leading economic model in terms of efficiency and resilience. Native Americans often complain simply because they have lived in luxury for too long, leading to a sense of entitlement and taking for granted what they have. The greater meaning behind this story is, the prosperity of a nation does not lie in the praises written in books, but it is manifested in every free service, every equal opportunity for wealth, and the vast quality of life that America provides to each citizen. So, what do you think about this contrast? Are Americans sometimes too harsh on their own country while outsiders yearn for that life? Please leave your comments below. And now, the final verdict on the media hoax of the century and the core message of the video awaits you. Stay until the end. At this moment, when looking back at the entire journey of international tourists, we can finally make a weighty final verdict. There is a very good saying. The media thrives on division and sensational headlines, but people in real life connect with each other through experiences. This phenomenon is so significant that even the host Jake Tapper on CNN had to conduct a live interview with a German football player to discuss this viral video wave. Their answer was a direct blow to outdated prejudices. We cannot have such strong prejudices. We cannot judge or hate a land we have never set foot in ourselves. What Europeans realized after the World Cup was not just that America has good food and beautiful stadiums, but that they had been led by the nose by TV for a long time. When you dare to step out of your comfort zone, leave your hometown, and open your heart to exploration, your worldview will completely change. America may not be perfect, but the warm reality of life here is the answer that shatters all fabricated scenarios. What do you think about this awakening journey of our European friends? Does the abundance and hospitality of America truly make you feel proud? Please leave your comments below so we can discuss together. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell because the YouTube algorithm in 2026 is currently tightening its grip on content related to economic, political, and social topics. My in-depth, direct, and uncensored analyses will be transferred to live streams every week at 11 a.m. on the Rumble platform, where we can converse more freely. Before concluding the video, I would also like to provide a small disclaimer. All content in the video is compiled from personal perspectives of travelers and is intended for cultural analysis and entertainment purposes, not representing any organization or official policy. Thank you for staying with me until the very end. See you all in the next videos. Bye, everyone.